to the farm. If you're new here, I'm Nina. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, and I am married to Daniel. Here on my channel, we talk all about homemaking, homeschooling, and homesteading. So if that's something that you're interested in, we would love for you guys to stick around. Hit that subscribe button down below so that you can see our videos every time they come out. So today's video is an Usborne Books favorite video. If you're unaware, I am an Usborne consultant. I've opened my bookshop back up for the holiday season, and Usborne has released some new titles, I think just last week, if you're watching this when it just went up. So what I did is I had my kids go through our Usborne library right here and pick out their 3 favorite books. So I have 4 kids, ages 8 to 3, and then I also did my 3 favorite books as well. So that is what today's video is going to be, and I hope you stick around to see it. So first up for me is going to be History Uncovered, the USA. We did My Father's World Adventures in U.S. History last year, and this title came out about mid-year last year, and so I grabbed it, and it was a great fit. So what it is it goes through the time periods of our country's history, and it tells a little bit of information about it, and then it will kind of uncover the states as they were added to the Union. So when we got to that particular time period and adventures, I would read through this, and I just kept this book in our book basket, and I would pick it up every time and read through it, and the kids really enjoyed being able to see as the states were added, how the map looked, and it kind of gave us a better view of what the United States looked like over time. And then it just gives you different information about each period. Really good book, highly recommend. The next book I have is Above and Below. I love all of Usborne's nature books, and this one's really cool. We've been using it this year with Exploring Countries and Cultures because we are going through different biomes. And so it has like the ocean, and then tells you some information here, and then below the ocean, the flap opens up and tells about the animals that are there. And then we just finished this one, which is the rainforest. And so above, it will tell you about what's in the canopy. Really good illustrations. The kids have enjoyed being able to open this book and look all through it. It's got cliff tops, the savanna, mountain caves, the river, the North Pole, rainforest, and oceans. Really fun book. One of my favorite read-alouds that I picked up shortly after I became a consultant is Where Happiness Lives. This is a really good story, has a good moral to it. It follows these mice, and they've been watching out of their house, this house on the top, and I've always wanted to know what it would be like to have a house that big and that grand. And so they go on this journey through the forest and talking about their house that they have, and they see the house up on the hill, and they would love to know what it would be like to live there. So they visit the house, and they find the little mouse that lives there, and she takes them on a tour through the entire house, and has lots of fold outs, and come to find out she's been watching them and all the love that they have in their small little house. So it just has a good moral of the story of no matter where you live, happiness can always be there. And it, in true Usborne fashion, has all the flaps and cutouts. It's a really cute book, and our kids have loved it. So for the kids' favorite books, I think I'm going to start youngest to oldest. So our youngest is 3, and he is all about trucks, tractors, construction vehicles, anything that will move and has wheels and digs in the dirt. That is what he loves. So his 3 books that he picked out, he immediately went to, and I'm not surprised at all. This book, as you can tell, has had lots of love. It is That's Not My Tractor. It's the Touchy Feely books, and so it goes through each one and talks about how that's not my tractor, and then you can feel the different. The Touchy Feely that goes along with it, the squashy wheels. There's a mouse on every page that you can look to find. And this was his favorite one, the scratchy seat. But he is obsessed with tractors, and he has sat down and looked at this book, read this book since he was 1.5, and he loves it. We've had this book since my youngest was, or my, excuse me, since my oldest was a baby. So it's been very well loved, and this is a favorite for sure. Another book that he picked out is The Peek Inside Farm. You're going to see a theme in his books. Tractors on the front. So you peek inside, talks all about the farm. There's lots of flaps for the kids to enjoy and to discover. One of the reasons why I love Usborne Books. Here's the tractor, and they're baling hay. So you can see why he loves this book. And I think I said the other one was his all-time favorite. This is another that he goes to very, very often. It's The Big Book of Big Tractors. And, you know, boys and their toys, the bigger the better. So, this is one of his favorite pages. It folds out into a 4-foot fold. It's got combines and cotton pickers on it. Lots of information about those different types of tractors. All of the Big Book series have these fold outs in it. We have the Big Book of the Body too. It talks about construction, vehicles. So lots of fun for little boys to discover. Moving on to our daughter, our youngest daughter, she is 5, and her 3 books. These are her 3 books that she has picked out. Alfie and Bet's ABC, so she's in kindergarten this year. She's learning her alphabet. So this one's been a fun one for her to look through and to talk about the different letters. It's a pop-up book. There's also one that they just came out with last spring that's all about numbers. We don't have that one yet. So it just goes through, talks about all the different things that these letters start with and the beautiful illustrations. She also picked out a That's Not My Mermaid book. She loves mermaids. Touchy Feely, she's had this one since she was a baby, and has really enjoyed looking through this. And still at 6, 5, and 3, my youngest kids will sit down and look at these books. They're easy to read and really fun to look at. And a read aloud book that she picked out is Amelia Who Could Fly. And her name is Amelia, so that's why she picked this book out. But she got this for Christmas last year. It talks about a little girl that has a dream to fly an airplane. And so it's kind of hits on Amelia Earhart. Just a fun little book. She's loved it because it says her name. All right, moving along to my next daughter. She is 6 years old. She is a girly girl, and her book that she picked out was a Little Ballerina Dance Book. She did ballet for a couple of years, so we've moved on to gymnastics since. This has a CD that comes along with it, so you can play the music, and then it has different books, or different dances, and it tells you how to do the moves, and she's really loved this book and being able to listen to the music and do the dances. So Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, Dance of the Little Swan, clog dancing, and yeah, I'm not sure what that says. So anyway, she has loved this book, and oh, there's the waltz. Her next book, and one of my favorite series, is The Peek Inside a Fairy Tale. So this is The Little Mermaid. And The Peek Inside, as you can see, the cutouts are really beautiful. And the story, it has a little bit of a twist to it compared to like the Disney fairy tales. So, but it's really neat to read. And they love looking at all the pictures and seeing through the cutouts. And then they also have some flaps in there as well. Really neat books. And her read aloud book that her picture book that she picked out was I Say Ooh, You Say Ah. This was the very first Usborne book that we purchased, and it has been a family favorite for sure. You read through this book and it gives you different instructions. So when I say ooh, you say ah. And so it's a very interactive book. When you see the color red, pat your head. And then when you see ants, you say underpants, and that always brings out the giggles. So just a really fun, silly book to kind of get the kids interested in story time. And they have really loved it. We read this several times a year. All right, moving on to my oldest son. He is 8, and he loves anything to do with construction and cars as well. And he loved the Vikings when we studied that last year at the beginning of Adventures in U.S. History. So the Time Traveler was one of the recommended readings in the back of our teacher's manual for that year. And we read about the Vikings, and he loved the Vikings, how this was all set up. It went through how they build warships and what their life is like, and it followed this group of Vikings and what they did, and he loved it. And what you'll do when you meet a Viking, and just really cool. He really loved this book. So that was one of his favorites. I was surprised when he picked this one out. I expected him to pick out another one. For his second favorite book, he picked out a sticker book, Build Your Own Robot Stickers. He loved this book when he got it for Christmas last year. So it gives you all the stickers, and you just put the stickers on so you could build them. Then it tells a little bit about each robot, and he goes back and looks at this book and reads it from time to time. So the sticker books aren't just kind of like a one and done thing. We keep them on our shelf back here so that the kids can go back to them and visit them, and they can read the little blurbs of information on each page. The last book that he picked out is Nibbles, the Dinosaur Guide. This was a new one that we got back in the summer, so if you watched my last Usborne haul, you would have already seen this book. If you're familiar with the Nibbles series, you will know all about this book. Nibbles is the book monster, and he eats up books. So this one's all about dinosaurs, and as you see, he chews through books. And this goes through and talks about different types of dinosaurs, and I will flip and show you why he picked this book, if I can find the page real quick. So just going through, this is why. Because the dinosaur burps out nibbles, and he thought it was hilarious. You know, boys and their bodily functions that they think are he poots out nibbles. But anyway, so he thought that was absolutely funny. So that's why he picked this book. And he also loves dinosaurs as well. But the Nibbles book series has been a lot of fun to read through, and we've enjoyed each one that we've gotten. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you for joining us and spending your time with me as I showed you our favorite Usborne books. If you're interested in any of these books or the new titles that are going to be coming out soon, look down in the description below. I will have a link down there for my bookshop. And as always, we are so grateful that you're here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and we will catch you guys in our next video. Bye.